Hello, everybody. Welcome, dear learners, to this particular topic on smart manufacturing and operation systems. I'm here to discuss with you and explain to you on how a smart factory evolves over time and how it has gone through the different phases of the Industrial Revolution 4.0. I'm very happy to welcome each one of you. I'm Professor Stephen Deepak, Faculty, School of Management, Crystal Jayanti College, Autonomous. What are the questions that we are going to unravel through this particular video? The first question is, what is the difference in smart factory and smart manufacturing? So though they are very interchangeably used and they are connected to each other, what's exactly the difference is what we will look at. And then if a firm has to become a smart factory with smart manufacturing technologies, so what are these smart manufacturing technologies that we need to bring into the factory and then we need to install is what we will look at. So what is a smart factory? By definition, let us understand a smart factory. And smart factory is an interconnected network of machines, communication mechanisms, and computing power. That the smart factory is a cyber physical system that uses advanced technologies such as artificial intelligence and machine learning to analyze data, drive automated processes, and learn as it goes. And that's precisely the reason why we call it a smart factory, because there is an intelligent system that we are going to embed into the factory. It's going to be the man machine interface, right? Very often we use the term phygital. So it's a man machine interface where the physical infrastructure is going to work with the technology that we bring into the organization. So it's going to be a proper blend of the technology working with the people in the organization. So that is what makes a factory smart, that it's intelligent, that it's able to understand what is happening, it's able to read the process, it's able to sense, and then thereby it is able to act according to what is the precise intervention that needs to be taken at an appropriate time. So what is smart manufacturing? So smart manufacturing is a technology-driven approach that utilizes internet-connected machinery to monitor the production process. So the goal of smart manufacturing is to identify opportunities for automating operations and use data analytics to improve manufacturing performance. Earlier, you had only a machine or an equipment would go about doing its work when it is switched on and then when it is switched off, and then it may not be able to respond to any sort of difficulties or differences or any sort of issues that may crop up in that in this as the system begins to work and render its contribution in the production process. Whereas here we have internet connected machinery that is able that's smart enough to understand with the data that is embedded that it's able to act on its own in a very intelligent manner. So smart manufacturing is a specific application of industrial IoT. So a lot of work is being done on industrial IoT to ensure the IoT aspect is embedded in the industry. The machines are able to collect a lot of data, it's able to understand the data, it's able to interpret the data, and it's able to act in a more intelligent and in a more responsible manner, which earlier required a man to do it. A labor on the machine would have to do that, but now we have these systems that are very intelligent, and you could possibly be sitting in a remote place and then using your smartphone and then using your interface to connect and communicate to these systems, and these systems will be able to render the function that you are expecting them to render as if you were on the spot on the shop floor. So what are these technologies that make manufacturing smart? And these are a list of some interesting 15 technologies that are right now found and which is part of our Industrial Revolution 4.0. And then these technologies are still in the process of evolution, and every day we seem to see and hear about how these technologies are being improved, upgraded. There are new mechanisms that are brought in, and there are new applications that are found about what we can do with these technologies. So what a smart factory is tending to do or trying to do at this point of time is to look at how these technologies can add value to their existing production operations and process. And then if at all there is some extraordinary advantage that these technologies are able to bring, and then that can create can help the organization to leapfrog into that expected business goal or strategy that they're looking for, it definitely is going to make a good case or a good business addition to bring in these technologies into the factory. Uh, Furthermore, I'm going to go and look at how the production and operations process has evolved over time. Now, if we need to understand those evolutionary phases, we need to understand the different industrial revolutions that we have gone through and how this factory, at some point of time, which started off like a remote shed or something very rudimentary, has gone on to take shape over the years, and how different advancements and different technological uh, revolutions have helped these production and operation systems to evolve and then come up into what it is today, as we call that. So in which stage of the industrial revolution are we talking about? The smart factory and the smart manufacturing system is also something that we must understand in this particular video. So let us go back to where it all started. So the entire factory system, the whole aspect or that whole understanding of a factory is something that started with the industrial revolution in the first industrial revolution somewhere around 1765. During this particular phase, the discovery of coal itself transformed the way the factory was being run, and the whole outlook of what uh, you know the factory owners at that point of time wanted to do. But this is a time when we moved out of our agrarian economy and started looking at industry and factory, and trying to do something with whatever was available as technology or as machines. Any invention that catapulted the existing process into something that we could do was always considered amazing and was always considered to be accepted and welcomed. So the focus at this particular industrial revolution was to mechanize, was to see how with some of those discovered elements that we found, how we could bring about some changes in the factory system. So coal itself was a very transforming, raw material that was found, and with coal, the factory owners felt and found that they could do a lot of wonderful things that could replace the earlier ways by which they were going about. Inventions like the spinning mill, the looms, and then canal transportation, all of that was considered to be very revolutionary at that point of time, at that age. And then so factory owners started looking at how some of these interesting developments that were happening around them could help them to benefit in their factories. The second industrial revolution was very interesting because we found oil, right? With oil as a resource which replaced coal as a resource that was helping that the factory system at that point of time. Industrial revolution, in the second industrial revolution, the discovery of electricity, gas, and oil was tremendous revolution because the factory owners or the society at that point of time, they were able to see what they could do wonderfully well with the use of electricity, with the use of gas and oil. Along with that, there were also developments in telecommunication, infrastructure, transportation. More and more new models of cars were being invented. Uh, at that point of time, a lot of experimentation was taking place in the automobile industry. To look at how these different interesting products that were being innovated, were being manufactured, or were being produced using the advantages that we found through electricity, gas, and oil. That is also a time when factory owners started looking at production as a very important aspect of how we can mechanize and how we can manufacture more number of goods, mass produce goods, and how we can create advantages using the concepts of division of labor. All of these were interesting management applications that were experimented and applied at that point of time. The third industrial revolution was interesting because that's around the time where we are looking at how electronics and nuclear power was being discovered, and then how what we could do with electronics. Industrial Revolution 2.0 was phenomenal because of its discovery of electricity. Here we were looking at electronics, what we could do with electronics, how we can develop more machines, more equipments, more components, many things that could automate and run on its own. And nuclear power itself is another interesting discovery. And then we were able to see how these things could lead to doing something more constructive, and that could help revolutionize factories during the third industrial revolution. The fourth industrial revolution is where we are very familiar with. With from around 1980s, computers started taking center stage, and there were a lot of upgradations and lot of developments in terms of computers. And the year 2000 brought in internet as a resource. Around that phase is where we see internet coming and internet changing the way we look at the world today. There are a lot of wonderful and phenomenal things that we are able to do, connecting with people, connecting with resources, connecting with the entire supply chain. And then we are able to know the whole world has shrunk, and we are able to connect with anybody and everybody around the world using the internet. So the internet and other renewable sources of energy started taking center stage in industrial revolution 4.0, and that is where we are talking not just about it started with the advent of computers and internet, but we have grown over that and beyond that. And now we're looking at more of these digital technologies that are transforming. And there are some of those wonderful technologies that I spoke to you about. All of those are very much a part of Industrial Revolution 4.0. Today, we are talking about IoT, IIoT, cloud technology, artificial intelligence. These are all technologies that are a boon of the Industrial Revolution 4.0, and that is the phase and that is the stage of industrial revolution that we are in. We're talking about smart manufacturing, we're talking about smart factories, and how the smart manufacturing, the smart factory is going to transform the way we produce goods, the way we service to our customers and clients. And all of that is a very interesting lesson that we have to think and understand. But what we are today is a gradual evolution of what the factory system went through in industrial 1.0 to 2.0 to 3.0, and at 4.0 we are reaping the benefits of all of those wonderful interesting developments that have evolved over a period of time. So to bring you back to the snapshot of those interesting developments, right? Industrial Revolution 1.0 was brought in the focus of the factory owners and practitioners to mechanization, and 2.0 brought in the focus on mass production, where people like F.W. Taylor, Henry Fayol, or Henry Gantt, or that entire scientific management, contributors, the management gurus of that point of time, they were only focusing on how to bring in productivity, how to increase production, and how to make sure that we are able to produce maximum in less time and less cost. And 3.0 was a further uh, development that brought in automation through computer and internet technologies. And Industrial Revolution 4.0 is where we're talking about robotization, we're talking about artificial intelligence, machine learning, and how these have added value. And this is how, through the Industrial 1.0 to Industrial Revolution 4.0, we've upgraded. We moved to industrial cities, to industrial regions or hubs, to global production systems. And today we're talking about how we can leverage global value through the global supply chain, through the development of the cyber physical systems in this particular era. In summary, as we look at it, Industrial Revolution 1.0 to 2.0 to 3.0 to 4.0 is where we have gradually grown. The factory, from a very rudimentary, primitive, manual form of making things by using the laborer's hand, is now being done through the use of machines and technologies. And today, automation and massive production is now easily possible, as technologies are able to give us that boon and benefit that's enabling factories to become smart, to become more, to bring in more technologies that are more intelligent, and thereby be able to make some phenomenal products and services that can help them to deliver them to customers and clients, and thereby ensure that the whole smart factory system is adding business value and is adding to the profits of the organization. Thank you.